Hi guys, welcome to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Kyra, and here on this channel, we're not striving for perfection. We're just here to have fun with our makeup, and we would like to have some real makeup for real life and real people. Today's video is tied in with my hashtag Monochromatic Project Pan 2021. In that project, each month we focus on products of a certain color or certain color of packaging, and this month is blue. And so I chose a blue palette from my collection, which is the BH Blueberry Muffin palette. And I really haven't used this a whole ton since purchasing it, so I put it in the project for this month. And I set the goal to create 2 looks with it. I also mentioned that I wanted to create one non-blue look out of this palette this month, and that's what we're going to do today. You guys seemed really excited about that, so let's go ahead and get into the first look. So to start things off in the transition, I'm going into this peachy shade right here, which is called Fluffy. Picking up that shade on a large fluffy brush. I actually really love this shade of peach. It is a beautiful transition shade for my skin tone, and especially right now during summer. The next shade I'm going to put into the crease is this beautiful milk chocolatey brown right here, which is called 350 Degrees. And one of my favorite ways to sort of beautifully set up that angle on the outer corner of the eyes, bring the product up into the crease and have a nice blend is to use sort of an angled fluffy brush like this. I have a couple in a couple of different sizes, and I just use the angle of this brush to my benefit by placing this in an angled fashion on the outer corner of my eye. And then once I feel like I have the bulk of the product off on the lid, then I go in and use the tip of the angle up here to blend. That is such a pretty shade, and wow, was that easy to blend. I love this format of palette from BH Cosmetics. I have a couple of their travel palettes, and now I have a couple of the brunch ones. I have this one, and then I have the avocado toast palette. The mattes are super duper easy to blend, and the shimmers are very, very buttery and beautiful and pigmented and foiled. I just can't get enough. I feel like this brown has a little bit of a plummy bit to it, a little bit purpley, which I am not mad at. That's one of my favorite types of brown to work with. I'm gonna go in with the previous fluffy brush and the shade Fluffy, how appropriate, and just make sure we have a nice soft blend. And one of the shades I haven't used is this one right here, the first shade in the palette, which is called Sweet. So I'm going to take this pinched fluffy brush from Delium Tools, pick up this shade Sweet, and apply this on the lid. Turns out this is going to be kind of a simple look, but nothing wrong with that. And as you can see, the shimmers in this palette are absolutely stunning. And you know, if you look at the palette itself, there are 3 neutral shimmers in here, plus this more white one. So you can really get a more neutral look out of this palette than you might think. If that scares you, if you're just starting to dabble in blue shadows, just know that this palette does have some neutral tones with which to anchor the look. If you don't want to go in full blue, maybe you just want to add a pop of blue. Now I'm just going to go in with my phalange and punch this up a little bit, especially paying attention along the upper lash line. And then I think for an inner corner highlight, I want to go in with this other shade in the top row called Crumble. I don't believe I've used this shade. Woo! That is shiny. Wowzer. All right. So this is what the eyes are looking like. I feel like I actually do want a little something on the lower lash line. So I'm gonna go back into 350 or 350 degrees and apply this on the lower lash line. About halfway across. And I also want to reinforce the shade 350 just a little bit in the outer V. I feel like we lost some of that depth there. And then I'm going to take a pencil brush and go into our original shade Fluffy, that beautiful peachy transition shade. Start it on the inner part of the lid and then start blending outward. So that is it. This is a wrap for this look. I'm going to pop off, do some liner and mascara, and we will come back and I will show you the final look. All right, so we are back and this is the completed look. I finished off the eyes with my Wet n Wild brown eyeliner, and for mascara I used the e.l.f. Lash It Loud mascara. And I will not tell you what's on my cheeks or my lips because it is one product and you will see that video on Thursday, I believe. But I did top what I had on my lips and cheeks with the Tower 28 gloss in the shade Magic, which just has a beautiful amount of gloss and gold shimmer. So that is that. But what do you think of this non-blue look from the Blueberry Muffin palette? I really like it, and I'm glad that I was able to deliver on a non-blue look from a very blue palette. So stay tuned because tomorrow we are doing a blue look. I have no idea what's coming, but I'm very excited to share it with you. So let's get into that right now. Hi guys, and welcome to day 2 and look 2 with the beautiful BH Cosmetics Blueberry Muffin palette. I am so excited to do a blue look today. I don't know how blue I'm gonna go, but we're gonna find out shortly. And I'm wearing aqua. I don't know why. I think I'm gonna start things off with this shade right here. It looks kind of like a periwinkle blue purple called Cheat Day. And I'm just going to very gently put this in the transition area to have something to sort of blend the deeper shades over top of. I don't really typically like going in with cool tones in the transition because my skin tone is so warm. It can look kind of weird, but we're gonna give it a shot. And if need be, maybe I blend out with a different shade. Again, not my favorite shade to start out with, but I do think it's a pretty shade. I'm gonna try and lightly blend it with this lighter blue down here called Delish. Just going to go right over top of that and hopefully just get a little bit more of a seamless blend by going in with a slightly lighter shade. I'm not playing it safe today. I'm so excited. We've had one sort of snafu after another with putting our pool up this year, and a big part of it is because our yard is slanted, so we kind of had to build a wall or a platform or whatever you want to call it for the pool to sit on that then leveled everything. And it is finally level, it's finally set up, and it's finally filled, and today it's gonna be 100 degrees and I'm going in that pool. Now I'm gonna go into that deep dark purple called Decadent. It's becoming more and more apparent to me as I play with this palette that it is not totally blue. Like, there's really only a few straight up blue shades in the palette. You have a lot of neutral lid shades and some deeper like purple like I'm doing here, as well as some teal and all good stuff. That's dark. Definitely gonna blend that one out. Wowzer. All right, I'm gonna take that previous brush there and just lightly blend that purple in the crease. All right, I'm liking it. Don't worry, we will clean up the sides at some point. Next, I think I'm gonna go into that teal shade that I pointed out called Tempting. A lot of that picks up on the brush. It is quite a dark shadow, but I just think it's so pretty. Nice way to continue to deepen things up or give a base for a lighter shade to go over top. Like this. I'm curious how many of you have this palette or have this palette on your wish list. I will mention, if you do have this palette on your wish list, make sure you check out the BH Cosmetics website before purchasing on Ulta or something, because BH Cosmetics is very good about running sales. And you can get this palette for like $10 that way. And then lastly, the one that I just want to try is this one right here. Looks like a duochrome called Yummy. It's kind of purpley. It's got like a bluish shift on it. And I'm gonna apply it with my finger. And hopefully this works out. It's not very brightening, but I can add just a little bit of brightness on the inner corner if need be. All right, that's really pretty. I could see doing a look with just the deep purple and then that shadow, but I do want just a little bit of brightness on the inner part of the lid. I think I want to go in with this shade that I mentioned yesterday called Cravings. It is such a pretty shade. It's very brightening, but it has like multicolor shimmer in it, and I just think it'll give a nice subtle pop to the inner part of the eye, allegedly. Okay, I felt a little bit of fallout with that one, and that it is a little bit of a chunkier formula, that particular shade. How about for Gits and Shiggles, we go ahead and go into the silver called Hot and Fresh. Sounds like me after my workout in the morning. Yep, I like that. That's a pretty silver. And I don't know if it's playing off of the rest of the shades in the eye or if it actually has a little tinge of blue or purple in it, but it kind of seems like it does. That's pretty. Do I want anything on the lower lash line? I really don't feel like I do, to be honest. So I'm gonna pop off of here, clean up the sides a little bit with some concealer and a flat definer brush, put on some mascara, a lip, all of that, and I will be right back to show you the completed look. All right, we are back. This is the completed look. This is just one of those looks, like a lot of colorful looks for me, that I just feel like is not complete until I add mascara. And for today, I used the e.l.f. Lash It Loud mascara. For lips, I forgot I already had it on, and that is the Milk Lip Plus Cheek Stick in the shade Work. I also have this on my cheeks as well as on my lips. Let's just briefly talk about my thoughts on the palette. I love the colors in here. Love that you can get a completely non-blue look out of this. You could do an everyday look, or you could reach in here for a neutral lid shade. But there's also a lot of fun included in this palette. I will, however, say that some of the shimmers do give a fair amount of fallout. I had glittery fallout both yesterday and today. It's not something I typically experience a whole lot, and of course I could remedy that by using a glitter glue on my lids and using my fingers so that the shadows are more likely to stay where I put them. But it is what it is. It's also something that could be remedied if you are that type of person, to do your eyes first, clean up the fallout, and then carry on with the rest of your face. But overall, I love this palette. I would say I give this like an 8 out of 10 on a scale of 1 to 10 because of the fallout factor and, you know, mostly that. But otherwise, I love this. The mattes blend beautifully. The shimmers are really, really nice formula. And there's a lot of interest in this palette. So if you were looking at it, I do recommend it. And I think it's a lot of fun. I think I'll definitely get a lot of use out of this palette, even though it's a blue palette. Some of these like more neutral lid shades are just gorgeous and worth reaching for. So that's all I have for you today. I hope you guys enjoyed my 2 looks with the BH Blueberry Muffin palette. Let me know down below if you would like to see the same style of video with the Avocado Toast palette, because I also picked that one up. And thank you for hanging out with me today. If you haven't already, I would love to have you subscribe. That way you can find the rest of my videos more easily. And with all of that said, I hope all of your makeup days are absolutely beautiful blue eyeshadow makeup days. And I will see you in my next video real soon. Thank you.